What is going on, everyone? Pick 6 back today. Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a pretty good day. I'm tired, but my day's okay. Today I'm going to bring you something I've never brought you before, and that's a full match with the tank. Showing as much destruction, showing strategy, bringing you tidbits of information you might not know, or you might already know, just reinforcing it. This isn't a tutorial, just it's a fun gameplay to watch, just to see big destructive 39-1, I believe, is the final. This is a long commentary. I did a lot of editing to this. Parts that were slow, like see taking the flag here, I sped this part up because no one wants to see me actually sit here and take a flag. You already know the procedure. Sit here and watch your mini-map to make sure no one pops up. That's your procedure. So I sped up the parts that I found that you probably wouldn't really want to see, but you still see the strategy, and that's why I didn't edit it out entirely. It makes more sense that way. But other than that, this was a match, Sign Crossing, where the match started terribly. Our teammates took the tank. I had nothing to do with it. They immediately drove it right into the enemy spawn. It blew up. So I figured, and since we're already trailing, I'm pretty sure we're already trailing, right? Yep, we're already trailing by 20. They already have the flags. I figure, me being the beast in the tank that I am, I figured I'll go back, I'll wait for the tank, and I'll try to undo the 20-point, 30-point deficit, whatever it was at. Sign Crossing is a pretty simple map. It's, I'd say, a medium-sized map. It's not very large. The only problem I have with it a lot of the time is if you're spawning on the side that we're spawning on, it's pretty easy to get spawn trapped over there, because A is the only flag you can really get back. B's tough to get. My opening general route I take to get from, well, what are we? We're the US side. I always go to B right off the spot. I sometimes go to A. If I know the tanks or their enemy tank is at A, then I'll go to A. For the most part, I go to B, because I figure if we get B, our teammates will get A, so we immediately get 2 flags. By the time I get B, I can go back, and these guys, by the time I get B, I can go back up to C. I usually don't go for D with the tank, because usually people in the building at D, at Monument, and a lot of people across the building, across the street building, they'll fire RPGs on the tank. And since the update only takes, what, 2 well-placed shots to disable a tank if it's not in the back, and I figure it's just asking for too much trouble to do it that way. So what I usually do is I go A, B, and I'll hover. If we have A and B, what I'll do is I'll hover around the entrance to C and D, so that way I kill some people that are sitting near their spawn, and I kill some people that are in the tunnels, or that tunnel toward the entrance to C. It's just keeping pressure on them if you already have 2 flags. I don't think the risk of going for D is worth it, because like I said earlier, it's a clusterfuck of directions you can possibly get shot at, and I just don't feel it's worth trying to get D if it's going to blow up your tank and suddenly you're in jeopardy of losing several flags. It just makes more sense to me to take my time, and as long as we hold, please keep in mind, the match might be long, but as long as you're holding 2 flags, you will not possibly lose. Well, no, unless your teammates are terrible and continue to rush out and get killed. But that's a different story. As long as you're holding 2, there's no way you can lose because you'd be tied. These guys were extremely feisty. My god, they were feisty. They kept jumping around. Look at every single time I take a flag, they'd immediately take it back. And this is the importance of having a good tank driver in Sign Crossing. If you don't know how to use the tank, please don't take the tank. Don't drive it right into the other team's spawn and get everyone killed. And that's also the biggest importance I feel of. He almost gets me here. Oh, he does get me. The C4 guy disables me and the other guy kills me. I waited for the tank in case you weren't sure. I figured I did a good job of taking back the flags, so I went back. And always destroy every single explosive you see. The update makes it way easier to see the explosives, and even if you didn't have the idea of going that direction, always take them out. Because say in this case, if a guy spawns where that van is, and there's a group of guys behind me and I have to go forward, if I'm getting swarmed and I didn't take out the explosives before I got swarmed, I can't possibly go anywhere but into those mines. So just think strategically. Whenever you have a chance to blow up something that could be a threat later, do it. Don't hesitate. Do it when you have the chance. Do not prolong what can be done today to tomorrow. Just take care of the job now. This guy bails out. This guy didn't bail out of the tank. Sorry about that. I get him. And now, the jeopardy here. This is this part I was telling you about. If you stay here, if you stay around this, we have A and B. If you stay in this area, you put pressure in them in the tunnel to C here, and you shoot them as they come to D, then you're taking out people as they come and as they float around. As long as you keep A and B, you're good. And if you continue to apply pressure here and hopefully your teammates can either get C or D, then you have 3 flags. And guess what? Statistically, you can't lose. You're obviously, the ideal is to get them like a majority of flags. You can't lose this way. And there, see, this is what I'm talking about. Me applying pressure. They're worrying about me. Our teammates are taking D now. Look at the icon flash. We're taking D. Very good for our team. The other thing here is look at the Nemesis ribbons I'm piling up. Because they can't really do much. They blew me up once and I don't die again. In fact, they don't get me out of the tank. I'm pretty sure they get me out of the tank. Maybe I'm lying. I can't remember. I watched this a while ago, but look. This is the same procedure, and you don't want to wait outside that tunnel. And the other thing is you always want to watch your minimap. The minimap shows you everything. It's arguably the most crucial piece of material you have on you. It lets you know where everyone is, your teammates, your enemies. It lets you know where everyone is. In this case, me shooting down the tunnel, sure, it's great racking up kills. It's putting pressure on them to stay at C. They can't really flank behind me. The issue, though, is if they spawn behind me, because remember, their spawn's right behind me. And this part I'm sort of nervous, because remember, I blew up their tank. So if it's not already respawned behind me now, it's coming soon. This part I was a little nervous about. I had to repair the tank. I know that I'm sitting outside their spawn. In hindsight, when I think back about this, maybe this wasn't the best idea to be sitting here as long as I did. Let's be perfectly honest with myself. I'm sitting outside their spawn. All it takes is one well-placed RPG to the back and I'm in trouble. And not to mention, their tank's coming. So maybe it wasn't the best idea. I see the A's being taken. So I'm going to go back down. I'm going to take A. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in this one. I'm just remembering my memory, but I haven't actually watched this footage until now that I'm doing the commentary over it for a while now. And notice here, I'm always turning the tank around because I know that there's a pretty high probability that if the tank actually does come, he's going to come down that roadway. He's going to come down that roadway and try and take back the flag that I'm currently taking. If I'm facing him, the armor of my tank is at the front. That way it prolongs my life. Now that I have a gunner, is he an engineer? I can't tell from here. I can't really tell if he's an engineer. No, he's support. No, he's a medic. So he wouldn't do me any good. He wouldn't do me any good if we're in trouble. 1 flag's neutralized. 2 are taken by us. I'm doing the same thing because this is all you really can do unless you're gonna go for D. But like I said earlier, unless you know they're all stuck at C, going for D is extremely risky because you're right outside the tank spawn. You're right outside of 2 different buildings where guys with RPGs can take you out. So you want to stay in medium ground here if A and B are taken. And this support, and you always have to be careful for support guys. Support guys don't really take me out very often. Me personally, I don't really have much of a problem with them. A lot of people like reactive armor. This is why, if you've seen my tank tutorial, which I'll include in the description as well, I always like what is it? The scan, proximity scan. That's it. I always like proximity scan because you can always tell where people are. It's huge. Some people find it cheap, but for the most part, the people that find it cheap are the ones that always get caught and killed by it. So, if they played smarter, they wouldn't have that issue. You'll also notice that earlier in this match, I didn't have the guided shell on, and that makes sense for a few reasons, and that's that A, you don't really need it in a match with one vehicle, and that's, you know, the enemy tank. And the other thing is, look at the canister shell. Canister shell should always be equipped in matches with lots of infantry. Like, Cyan Crossing is the perfect map to use it as an example. Take a look at all the infantry that come. If you don't have something that's like an LMG, an HMG, or the canister shell, you're going to be swarmed. And the guided shell is completely useless unless you're targeting something like, well, a machine with it. So having the right class setup is huge, and in this particular case, the canister shell, I use it in pretty much any map anyway, but especially Cyan Crossing, I use it the most, because when you get swarmed a lot in this map, it's always good to have a canister shell that can eliminate multiple encounters of infantry. I sped this part up, obviously. Again, I probably mentioned it earlier, but if it's open to debate. If you guys want me to speed it up or you want me to show it, let me know in the comments. In this part here, I went back. I did the smart thing, in my opinion. I went back and waited for the tank, because, well, I knew it was going to spawn quick. Because by the time I got there, because it was going to be a hell of a hike. And the thing was, I thought it was best because I brought my teammate back from the brink by coming all the way back here. And I felt it made a lot more sense if I got the tank and, well, undid the damage of it going away. It only makes sense because, well, you notice my team, we had a habit of losing flags when I didn't have the tank. Like, if you see on the meter there, we're already losing A. I can't really afford to lose more points. So me going back for the tank, fighting off multiple encounters, I think is the best for our team. And look at this. This particular group of people here, they always tried to spam with mines. They always tried to relax in this particular area. And it didn't make any sense for me to not go back to the tank. So that's why I did it. So anyone who has critiques as to why I went back for the tank, well, I think it shows. Again, basically you just want, it's the obvious setup. I don't need to tell you. Just get 3 flags and hold them. But these guys were feisty as hell. They kept jumping around flag to flag. And look at this. Look at this tank. It's like he wasn't sure I was there until it was too late. But until I disable there, I thought I missed him at first. Now he jumps out, and he has a valiant effort here, seriously, to C4 me. Look at this. Ooh. But I get him. And always destroy any, I mentioned it earlier, but always destroy any explosives that are around. Even if it's C4. Just explode them all so that way you never have the chance of anything going wrong. The other thing I learned recently too is that even if you're an engineer or assault, you can get back out and take C4 off of the tank. In all honesty, I thought you had to be support to do that, but apparently not. You can jump out, you could take it off the tank. Hopefully you'd ideally want to do it before the actual guy realizes by the end that, well, he's going to blow up your tank. So, for the most part, it's just playing smart. That's what Battlefield basically is. It's just outthinking your opponents and always trying to think ahead, anticipate what they're going to be doing next. That guy jumped right into the tank shell. Anyway, this match is pretty much wrapped up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments, whether you like it sped up, whether you don't like it sped up, and, well, see you later.